a stay-at-home dad, watching Disney movies he never had. His daughter digs through all the VHS, crushing the classics in a princess dress. Informed like Scuttle, Kurt's got your ticket, making it real like Jiminy Cricket. Most are off the Captain Hook, but if the Tweedledum, he'll be taking more shots than Bambi's mom. Leaves him raised like Simba, or cracked like the beach dishes. He'll show you a whole new world, you won't need 3 wishes. Stay at home, Disney Dad.
How are there 5 Thursdays this February? It doesn't matter. Let's burn this down. Okay. February is the Pooh Month. Pooh 2 concludes today with this bizarre gem. Let's press play. Ad for Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs on a Winnie the Pooh VHS tape. We've come a long way, folks. Pooh always just advertised Pooh on these things. Ad for Dumbo next. Oh, these are all Disney movies coming out on DVD. I think this has got to be like 2001, 2002. Book of Pooh. We start with a real footage or CGI shot, or a mixture of both, of the now iconic sweep of Christopher Robin's bedroom. But in this one, he's actually there reading a Pooh book, and his mom calls him for school, so he puts the book down, and the camera swoops into the book's pages. And I mean, that was cool. Do more things. We meet the CGI or puppet characters walking through the woods singing the theme song. This is the opening. This is different. This is weird. I kind of like it. Forgive me, this is a VHS, so it's super grainy. Are these puppets in front of a CGI screen? I don't know. Anyway, after the opening, we start with the narrator, and then the characters are looking for Christopher Robin, who should have been home from school already, and I feel like we've told this story already. Tigger gets an idea. They should read Christopher Robin's journal. I have no thoughts on this. How punishing their friend for being late by reading his private thoughts and diary, his intimate secrets for their amusement is just no. No, nothing at all. Nothing comes to mind. These are great characters. Okay, now we're talking. They're talking to the narrator now. Back to this. Christopher Robin's journal seems to be nothing but stories about each of them. They start with a story about Pooh. Pooh's story starts with Owl reading a story. My nose is bleeding. It's a story within a story, folks. Pooh thinks there's an adventure over every hill, so he heads out. Pooh asks everyone if they want to go on an adventure over the hill. No one accepts. Pooh gets up a hill, chases a butterfly, gets turned around, and starts heading back down the same way he came. He sees his friends, and he's like, oh, that looks just like my Cassie. He runs into all his friends, and he's like, I'm Pooh from over the hill. And his friends just with him. They're like, hello, new friend from over the hill. You'll like it here. It's just like your place over the hill, but not quite the same. Pooh says he can't stay, though, because he's on an adventure. Piglet asks, how's the adventure going? Pooh says, I don't know. Riveting stuff, folks. Takes forever to get there, but Pooh realizes he's got turned around. He's back at his real home. Back to Robin's room. Tigger is trashing his room, tossing Robin's clothes around. Next, they read a story about Piglet. It starts with this. What a fun friend to have. Tigger is going to train Piglet to be the new Tigger as he goes away for a few days. Probably another shipment coming across the border. He says the most important part of being a Tigger is mental altitude. Tiglet finishes his training and he goes and he tries to knock over Rabbit, but he's just too damn small. Tigger forgot his toothbrush, so he comes marching back in time to hear Rabbit trash talking him. Tigger gets sad and he tells Piglet he's never coming back now. Oh no, Piglet's like, oh, who's gonna crush my ribs? Rabbit gets caught in a tree, and now it's up to Tigger to bounce up and save him. I can't explain it, but this live-action puppet format actually makes the franchise better. Let's see if I can wrap my head around this and explain this to you. Okay, when it's animated, it seems lazy and boring, because it could be a puppet show. They don't do anything. Why spend all this time and money on animation when these characters just stand around? But live, it's a little more exciting. It's a little more like 3D. Puppets are moving around this environment in a way that's kind of impressive. Anyway, back to Christopher Robin's diary. Cassie shows up. There's a story about Cassie. It starts, Pooh is in a tree trying to go smackerel of honey from the hive. She's feeling useless for some reason. Imagine feeling useless around these people. She goes from character to character and no one needs her help. She's looking for knowledge. She sings about wanting to know everything. Settle down, Cassie. She's sad because she can't She thinks she's useless, but until they all get lost, then she flies up into the sky, and she's the only one that can find the correct path back. Christopher Robin comes home now. They think they hear him coming up the stairs, but it's just Christopher's mom from the neck down again. They Toy Story it though, and they flop down pretending to just be like unalive toys as she walks around the room, but it's still a mess. That was kind of fun. Up next, a story about Rabbit. Tigger can't wrap his head around how anyone would ever like gardening, and hey, I can finally relate to a Pooh character. Tigger is trying to bond with Rabbit and making an effort, but Rabbit is like, F you, man. I know the drill, I know the game, I know the run, I know the play. I'm gonna come out, show you how to garden. You'll jump on me or ruin my garden or pour the watering can on my head. You'll up somehow. And I love Rabbit because he knows these other characters are just horrible. Tigger finally wins Rabbit over, and Rabbit shows him how to garden. Fast forward, Tigger's garden is now better than Rabbit's, which Rabbit off. And Tigger is like, I don't get it. I wanted to learn to garden so we could hang out and be a little closer, and I did, and now you're just as miserable. And you know, that one's pretty relatable. That's an adult lesson right there, right? February is a Pooh month, Pooh 2. It's coming to a close on an unusual high note. Up next, and probably the last story, what are we doing here? We get a Tigger story. He wants to hang with Rabbit again, but Rabbit is tired, so Tigger's like, fine, I'll watch you sleep. So what has happened is that Tigger has decided to give up sleep. He's never going to sleep again, and he wants to see what his friends are doing while he's asleep, and he's slowly learning that everyone else is also asleep while he's asleep, so he's not really going to miss anything by staying up every night. And this, as a parent, this is helpful. What? Winnie the Pooh figured it out on the dying days of VHS. It's almost sad. Like, this is good stuff. Off to Pooh's house he goes next, same thing, same lesson over and over until Tigger finally falls asleep. Then Pooh wakes up and he wakes up the narrator. He's like, Mr. Narrator, the story's over now. That's kind of funny. Tigger realizes there's not much happening at night, so you might as well sleep. Thank you, Winnie the Pooh. Now they hear Christopher Robin coming home for real. So they quickly clean his room, but they see a story about Eeyore and they're like, we don't have time to read it, but then they do. I don't know. This has got to be the last story. Jeez, come on. Everyone is getting ready for a surprise party but for Eeyore's birthday, but it's not his birthday, it's his tail-aversary. They just lie to him for the next 15 minutes. They don't know it's his tail-aversary. And then surprise him at the end because they really did know it was his tail-aversary. They sing a song that says, keep it shiny and on your hiney. That's money. Back to Robin's room. They go Toy Story again. As he comes home, Mom walks in and she's like, oh, I thought your room was a mess. I'm sorry, I must have imagined it. Okay, Mom, the room cleaned itself in the last hour. Nothing to think about there. Go back down and keep your day drinking and watching your programs, Mom. Robin had soccer practice after school. That's why he's late. They knew that. So ends the story of the day everyone waited for Christopher Robin to come back home, and that's the end. I don't hate this version of the franchise, the live action puppets, CGI. This is how it should always be moving forward. Wow. What an unexpected ending to February is a Pooh month. Pooh 2! You're damn right we're doing Pooh 3. I think I got enough VHS tape. See you next year.
That's what I think about.
What do you think?
What we have is a concern about Curtis Anderson. His interviewing style is not the best. His personal appearance is not the best. I was wondering if the man has some kind of a hold over the channel that he's allowed to be employed for so long with the standards of journalism and personal appearance that he has. Thank you.
Okay, Macy.